Barbiecore, Regency core, quiet luxury, ballet core, Y2K. These are just a very, very small number of the trends we've seen over the last couple of years. Cottagecore, that's another one. Coastal grandmother. Yes! If that's the first time you're hearing this, that's a trend. It feels as though we are swimming in trends, okay? Anything you want is a sodding trend, right? And it's come to a point in fashion, and it really feels like, well, within my lifetime, it really feels like I've never experienced this amount of everything being so trendy all at once, to the point that, are there any trends, actually? Is nothing a trend? Is everything a trend? I feel like back in the days when magazines really ruled things, the September issue, that was telling you all the trends. Oh my gosh, it was getting you up to speed. That was it. You didn't get any more in between. It was very much based on the runways and the collections of these high-end, you know, high fashion designers. Now we have TikTok to thank for the deluge of trends that are coming at us every single week, it feels like. In this video, we're going to be breaking it down a little bit. We're going to have a think about, what does this mean? What does this mean for trends in general? What does this mean for us? Let's be selfish. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're gonna love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. We consume content now at a pace that is crazy, and at a pace that we haven't ever experienced before. Bring it back to TikTok, the For You page is incessant. You can, within seconds, you can decide whether or not you're interested in consuming this content or not. The pace at which you can satiate your content needs is rapid. And because of this, it's not only accelerated the amount that we consume content, but the amount that we consume trends and the trend cycle in general. The whole premise of TikTok is trending videos, viral videos. All it takes for a new trend to pop off is virality, is for a bunch of people to also be interested and to make it a thing, to have a moment, right? I mean, we're gonna be tackling some of those trends in today's video. Blueberry milk nails, that's a thing. I've been talking about the word of my summer is juicy, right? If I had a viral video, let me tell you, juicy would be a trend too. Juice core, 5 outfits to really get your juices flowing for a juicy juice core summer. You know, I'm actually adopting that. That is now my new trend. That's a trend that I'm participating in. It's a trend that speaks to my soul directly. But juicy is actually more than a trend, it's actually a way of life, much like TB, tiny bag energy. That is by the by. The thing with a lot of these trends though, is that the graph that is sort of time and popularity of trend is very much a bell curve, right? So it starts to gain traction, and then at a point, oh, she's going viral. Up the roller coaster we go. And the tipping point there is, it has to be popular enough for it to go viral and for it to become a thing in a moment, right? And not just me sitting in my room going juice core. But it can't be too popular, because when it becomes too popular and when, it becomes too mainstream, off we go. On to the next one. What's the next hot trend that we're all jumping on the back of? What's quite interesting though is that a lot of the trends that we're experiencing now are sort of spin-offs of cultural moments, right? So based on sort of like hashtags and mentions and how much, you know, people on the internet have been talking about these trends specifically, if you look at quiet luxury, it absolutely like shot up in like way more mentions around the time of Succession final season. We know this, we saw this, you know, talking about Kendall's fashion and blah blah blah, and Laura Piana and what watches they're wearing, and Shiv wears a Cartier Panther and blah 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 blah. The cultural moment of Succession, RIP, I miss it every day, really helped that trend. If we look at something like Barbiecore, we've been talking about the Barbie movie for the better part of the last year. Barbiecore has been steadily ticking along, right? It's been in the background of conversations. It has slowly but surely over the last year ingrained itself as a trend. It'll be interesting to see now that the film has come out how long that trend will stick around. But some trends don't die as quickly as others, right? So for example, this one shocked me, mainly because I don't think you're shocked. This is not really my style. Cottagecore. Very wholesome, okay? When I think of cottagecore, I think of a lovely little fairy cottage in the woods, something very akin to Kate Winslet's house in The Holiday. You know the one I'm talking about. Very Surrey. Something like that. She's in white linen or like cotton eyelet dresses, and, you know, she wears pointel underwear and makes her own jam and bread, has a sourdough starter at all times. That's what I think of when I think of cottagecore. Turns out that cottagecore has been far more popular than any of the other trends I've mentioned thus far, with 14.4 billion views on the TikTokers. Now, what we're used to within fashion is that the fashion houses somehow, I don't know if they have clandestine, Freemason-esque meetings under the blanket of darkness at night, and they come around a round table with candles going, what are going to be the big trends? It used to be that we would see all of these high fashion brands dictating the trends, and then you would see this trickle down from the time that the runway is shown to the time that it like comes out. You would see high street brands would be adopting those trends and so on and so forth. And while that still happens, and that's still an important part of, you know, like fashion and trends and all of this, what we're seeing a lot more now are these cultural moments that are then having to be adopted by high fashion houses the next time a collection comes around. I mean, look, you're never gonna know, because I'm not in the ear of Virginie Viard, but for example, the Chanel Cruise collection is the most Barbie-core Chanel collection I've seen in recent history. Definitely under Virginie, okay? And so you've got to think, okay, well, were they influenced by the Barbie film? Did they know that this was going to do well because of the Barbie trend and blah, 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 and all of this, right? Another thing to note, Lorna Hall, who is the Director of Fashion Intelligence at WGSN, which is like a trend company. They map out the trends. They tell you what's trending. Anyway, she said in a Business of Fashion article, Gen Z consumes trends as entertainment. So it's not even to the fact that you have to be adopting these trends. It's purely by like, even just consuming them mentally. You don't even have to be out here wearing Barbie-core and mermaid-core and Gorp-core and whatever else to be in on the conversation. And of course, this whole accelerated trend cycle also lends itself to be very helpful for overconsumption of products and trends in general, because the speed at which things are in and out is just, you know, at a crazy pace. I want to talk about the blueberry nails again, because I think this is a really good example. Blueberry milk nails, sorry, light blue nails. Essentially, a way of trendifying. This trend went viral on TikTok, but to the point that actually people got quite annoyed with it, because these are just light blue nails. Like, this is something that has existed and you're just trying to make a trend out of it for seemingly no reason at all. And it speaks to this level of like, are we just trying to make communities out of everything? Because that is a huge aspect of a trend, is that we're participating in something, and by doing so, we feel a sense of, in an odd way, you know, even through a t-shirt or a belt or the colour that you're wearing or whatever, you feel a part of something. And maybe it's this odd, oh, we're getting really, like, you know, philosophical today. Maybe it's this odd, innate human want to be a part of something. I don't know, that is uncharted territory. But this isn't all bad, because when there are so many trends, you can't get involved in everything. I mean, you can try, you break your neck trying with the speed at which things are moving, right? But you physically can't be a part of everything. Mandy Lee, also known as @OldLoser in Brooklyn, I love her. She did a TikTok on this at the end of last year, and to summarise her thoughts was basically like, we're getting to a point where we can only lean on our personal style, and people are going to have to start exploring that more. And exactly, we're at a point where we are swimming in trends, backstroking it through minimalism and quiet luxury, and you can't do them all at once. You can't do Y2K and quiet luxury. You can't do Barbie-core and Gorp-core. You know? The fact that gorp core is a thing, it's like almost like utility core. I don't even know. I'm not even sure what that is to this day. So you have to ferret through and go, what are the ones that are me? What are the ones that I want to participate in because of whatever reason? And sod the rest. And this is what we should be doing anyway. Personally, I am always very interested in trends. I find them fascinating. I find them very interesting, and that's why I like to share them with you, right? By no means am I saying that all of these things are in, and you must participate in all of them to be anybody of, you know, anything about you, because that's just, you know, about a bunch of bollocks. But what I like to do and how I sort of use trends are, it gives me an opportunity to rediscover things in my closet that I'd forgotten about or thought, oh, I'll bring that out at some point, but I'm not really feeling it now. It gives me a reason to deep dive back into what I've already got. But on top of that, it also helps me challenge myself into exploring different aspects of my personal style that I haven't given myself the opportunity to before. For example, up until, 6 months ago? Skinny jeans till I die, girl. That was going to be written on my gravestone. Cassie Thorpe, TBE Tiny Bag Energy, skinny jeans for life, LYFE, okay? But, guess what? I tried a little cargo trouser. Hold on a second. Looks phenomenal on me. Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe she's not just a skinny jeans girl. Maybe she needs to go out of her comfort zone. Oh, actually, this straight leg jean doesn't look as bad on me as I thought it might. And actually, I really like the style of this wide leg one, and I really would like to wear that with this top. That actually doesn't really work with my skinny jeans, and blah, 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 right? It allows you to sort of challenge yourself a bit. And our personal style is going to change over time, of course it is. And it should do. It should be an ever-evolving process. I'm glad I'm not wearing the same things that I was when I was 16. Cassie was out here really making some bold choices. I was happy with it at the time, and that's how it always should be. I was over the moon. I thought I was killing it, and that was the most important thing, right? And I might look at myself in 2 years' time and go, why did I wear that dress? It's always going to happen. And I'm excited to see a little bit more of people taking a minute to really step back and choose and figure out what their personal style is. You know, I felt like we were getting to a point a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 years ago-ish, just before the pandemic, when you would go on Instagram and you would see variations of the same outfit every other post, you know? So it's nice to see different styles, even if it's not your style, right? I follow so many people whose style are very, very different to mine, but in ways they inspire me, and in ways I might see something and be like, do you know what? That top I would never have looked at, but it looks really great on her, and actually maybe it might look really good on me too. I think it's funny that it's almost gotten to a point of us having too much for us to be like, hold on a second, now I've got to pick and choose. But I'm excited about maybe seeing a little bit more of people's personal styles come out of it. Also, in terms of trend videos from me going forward, I think one thing that I really want to be leaning on throughout my trend videos is data. I really want to be focusing on the percentages of a certain style throughout collections and really kind of back it up that way, personally because I find it interesting. Maybe knees nerdiness has finally sort of, you know, found a home in my mind. The moral of the story is quality over quantity. Pick the ones that make sense to you. If you have seen Barbiecore and your heart has never beaten like that before in your life, I hear you and you go after that, okay? If you see Quiet Luxury and you're like, minimalism and tailoring is the biggest thing to me and Phoebe Philo is my hero, then good for you too. But we don't need to be participating in all of these. And guess what? Maybe you're mermaid core one day, you're Barbiecore the next day, and you're a chameleon in your style, then good for you too. Anyway, there's my 2 cents on the topic. I hope you enjoyed. What do you think about the deluge of trends that, you know, we've been facing? I am going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.